Hi, hello. What I want to talk to you about here is the BSL bill. The reason that I want to say a few things about it and share my thoughts is because I actually don't feel 100% clear about what the BSL bill means. It's important, I think, for us to share information about that. I've read through the bill to understand what it is. I've looked at other videos, and I've attended the BDA's panel event that they held last Monday evening, which was the 7th of February. So I attended the panel, questions were asked, there was a useful discussion, and I'm more clear about what the bill is. Today, if I make any mistakes in what I say or get anything wrong, then I'm happy to stand corrected. And I hope this video and what I say will be useful in prompting other people to share what they know to add to the discussion, so we'll all have a better understanding of what the bill means. Now, the first thing that I want to say, and this is important, is the bill doesn't mean that we suddenly have new rights and life will become much improved immediately. Not at all. That may be something that happens later potentially. But actually, in terms of all the lack of access that there is and the problems we have, say, with making GP appointments at the hospital, trade announcements that we don't have access to, the bill won't make sudden changes and improvements to those areas. Certainly not immediately. Perhaps in time, that may be possible. The four aims that come from the bill are firstly that it would declare that BSL is an official language of the United Kingdom. So why is declaring it as an official language important? Well, it means that the government must provide access through sign language. So at the moment, we'll see access to things in English, in Welsh, in other official languages. However, BSL isn't an official language. Therefore, if it were, that would change. Secondly, another aim is for there to be a BSL Council established. And the purpose of this would be a place for discussion and creation of guidance and information. That would be around the provision of BSL for public bodies. Thirdly, public bodies, so typically government departments, would have to follow what's been decided by the BSL Council in their guidance. That means that public bodies, for example, when there are public announcements, when there are changes to the law, when there are changes to strategy for the public, this must be provided in BSL. But government departments, such as the Department for Health, for Education, the Ministry of Defence, other public bodies and departments, when they make public announcements, they must be provided in an accessible way. So the difference is that at an individual level, say GP surgeries and hospitals, this won't be applicable. This is for information that reaches a group of deaf people rather than an individual deaf person. Fourthly, public departments, government departments must, it's not annual, but at least every 3 years, must report that they have followed the guidance provided to them by the BSL Council. The departments must create reports by referring to the guidance to say how they measure against it. That reporting must be within 3 years. So this means that over time, the BSL Council will first create that guidance, the government must follow it, and subsequently they must meet on a regular basis to review and amend the guidance, for the guidance to be routinely updated. So for me, that's my understanding of the BSL bill, what it means and its four aims. So many people have concerns, of course, on an individual level. What about each of us who are deaf? What about access for us where there are existing barriers in everyday life from public services? Going to the gym, going to see someone for legal advice, medical appointments, all of these things. How will that come to change in time? So I have a few questions. I think many of us have similar questions. If you have more questions, please do contribute. I really hope that from the 9 deaf organisations there will be responses to contribute to this discussion. Or if anybody knows, please do contribute. Please do share information. So at the panel meeting, Alison Bryant asked a question around, okay, so it's fantastic to have a bill as a first step. This is great. But what's the following step? What are the second and third steps? It does seem clear that the bill is important. It's an important step to move things forward. But subsequently, how do we ensure that on an individual level, people have their rights? At the moment, there isn't a clear answer to that. And how do we campaign over individual rights? Secondly, this question for me,